Okay, peeps, welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about with you guys on a more personal level reasons why we do this YouTube channel and what our vision is. So, the first thing that we want to bring up is we actually do not even need to do this YouTube channel. So, what do we mean by that? What we mean is that we're choosing to do this YouTube channel, but we do not need to do it. Okay, we trade, we invest, we make pretty good money. In all honesty, we're getting pretty close to the point where if we wanted to, we could just go retire overseas or move to a cheaper state, live somewhere in a cheaper state, and just live off of the passive income and the gains. We're getting very, very close to that. We're on the precipice of achieving that. So, the real reason we created this channel, of course, we want to get monetized. That's important. We would like to at least get something out of it, but it's not really a requirement for us. Again, we do want to get monetized. Of course, getting monetized would be better than not getting monetized. But the real reason why we made this channel was to help everybody out there who's struggling to pay bills, being stuck in relationships, toxic relationships they don't want to be in because they don't have the finances to get themselves out of that situation, or they're reliant on the person that they're stuck with that they may not necessarily see in a good light anymore. And also on the brighter side to um, accelerate the growth process of people who are already well on their way to financial independence and early retirement. So, with that being said, our vision here, our goal here is to basically help and educate and inform you guys on what we know so that you can then use it to go further your own potential out there in the world with your finances and achieve whatever it is you desire in life. If you want to buy a new car, great, you can do that with dividends and gains. If you want to just simply understand how market cycles work, so that way you can plan according to your retirement. Because if you try to pull from, let's say you have $1 million in an index fund, but you have to pull those shares out in something like the 2008 crash, well, your share price is going to crash and you're going to have to sell a lot more shares for a lot less money, which means it eats away at your retirement faster, and you have that many less years to sell shares to live off the retirement income and principal that you have. So, understanding market cycles are extremely important to that. Um, we do cover dividends a lot on this channel, but we also cover things like swing trading, day trading, which we're not going to get too heavy into yet. Just between dividend investing, macroeconomics, swing trading, and crypto, that's going to be more than enough for the time being. It may be like a pinch of options here or there, but so pretty much our goal is to just empower you guys to further your own lives. You want to go on a vacation, great. You can learn about dividends, you can learn about investing, you can learn about finance to help you achieve that. If you want to buy a yacht, that's your dream, great. We will we'll provide you what we know, and uh, based on our 7-8 years of experience in the markets, trading and investing in multiple different markets, having seen multiple different events, from anything from the zombie virus to the Black Swan event to crazy riots to all kinds of different stuff. I mean, we have seen the works in the last 8 years. Let me tell you what. So that's pretty much the overview here. We do enjoy helping other people. We make it sound so serious and stuff like that. And of course, finance is a very serious thing. I mean, that's pretty much how the entire United States operates, is on the economy, right? And that goes for any other country too. But underneath the surface, we are just people like you. We're everyday, ordinary people like you. We have our struggles, we have our wins, our highs and our lows, and all that kind of stuff. It's just life. I mean, the reality is, we would much rather spend our time being around people we want to be around and doing the things we want to do than be forced to go to a job we don't want to be at and spend time around people that we view being as toxic or unnecessarily annoying and unprofessional, and we would just rather not spend all of our time around those kind of people and instead around people we want to be around and dictate our own financial future, because that's what people who have made it, so to speak, do in different countries. So we're going to get into a few metrics here after the whole emotional talk, and we're going to show you guys some real life examples of the struggle that's really going on out there, so you can see for yourself that we're not just trying to chalk it up here. We really are serious. Emotions aside, we really are serious about what we say when we say that the world has more or less been turned upside down since 2020. It is true. We've all lived through it. We're all in this together. Okay. This is not fantasy land. This is a real life. It seems crazy, but it is. It's here. It's reality. And our goal is to work through it and to help you guys work through it to eventually come out on the other side in greener pastures, pun intended. So let's get into it. So it says here that 65% of Americans are satisfied with their work, while only 20% of them are passionate about what they do for a living. Personally, I don't know if I really believe this. I'm going to go ahead and call bogus on this. I'm not going to say that the article itself is bogus. What I'm going to say is that 65% of Americans are satisfied with their work. I mean, the reality is if these people were to come out and speak against their jobs, especially if they're not unionized, if it's in an at-will state where there's no protections by the law for speaking against your employer, these people are not going to come out and be like, oh yeah, we love our job, or we hate our jobs, blah, blah, blah. Because then the company might frown upon that and decide that they don't want to keep them anymore. So this would psychologically be the most likely response. But deep down, we know people out there are struggling. We know that they're not satisfied with their jobs. They're being overworked, especially in 2020. That was a good example of that. I myself experienced that. I told you guys before in a previous video, I had been working 2 jobs, one full-time, one part-time. I was working 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. I was working 80 hours a week. And then I was managing multiple finance accounts on top of that. So, for those of you guys out there that are in that situation, or girls, I can definitely relate to that. Now, here's the important stuff. So most Americans, you can see the title here, save, but many can't cover $1,000 emergency. So you look at key findings, it says average savings nears $1,000 per month. I'm not sure what percentage that they're basing this on. I would guess it's a relatively small amount. This does not seem very realistic based on historical data, but it's possible. Maybe a lot of people see what's coming and they say, okay, they're getting laid off, or they see other people getting laid off or whatever, and they say, okay, maybe now it's a good time to save. Well, I got a bit of advice for you guys, not financial advice, but if I were me from now talking to me in the past, or for me in the future talking to me now, what I would tell myself is the best time to prepare for a bear market economically and technically is during a bull market. And the best time to prepare for a bull market is during the bear market. If you prepare for the bear market during the bull market, you'll be better prepared to prepare for the bull market during the bear market, because you would have set yourself up well the bear market to catapult yourself to new heights during the bull market. So savings for emergencies is most cited savings goals. Okay, so it says more than 53% of Americans regularly save for emergencies, while 43% save for retirement and vacations. Existing emergency funds may come up short. Less than half, and this is a pretty scary statistic, less than half, 45% of Americans would be able to cover $1,000 emergency expense without turning to a credit card or a loan, according to the survey. And then there's this retirement piece. It talks about retirement ages and percentages and stuff like that. And then it gives you kind of a little bit of a breakdown here by the age, who saves on a regular basis, depending on the age. Again, I'm not knocking the credibility of this. NerdWallet's a pretty popular website. It's possible maybe this has changed, but this is not the historical norm. I can tell you that right now. So, is it true? Well, as you guys can see here on this chart of US credit card debt, and this was in the news, you can look it up for yourself. Recently, the credit card debt nationally surpassed over $1 trillion in debt. To give you guys an example of just how big $1 trillion is, Amazon, let's see, I think it's Amazon, Tesla, and Nvidia just recently crossed the $1 trillion market capitalization, and they're among the largest companies on earth. Okay. The biggest one is Apple Inc., and they're about 3 trillion. So that would give you guys an indication of just how much credit card debt this is. You guys can basically see that we went from about 900 billion in 2022 to 1 trillion in 23. So I've heard that a lot of people are spending money off their credit cards to pay for, everyday needs like groceries and stuff like that. I'm not sure how true it is, but we got a 10% increase here year over year. We go out even further, you can see it's even more significant. Of course, the effects of inflation. When inflation goes up, stuff becomes more expensive. And if you don't have the money on hand, then you have to find another way to dig in to your pocket to be able to pay for this stuff, right? And you guys can see, just kind of going over time what it looks like. I'll leave this in the description for you guys below so you can see it for yourself. It's a pretty interesting chart. So the Fed funds rates, as you guys know, the FOMC meeting was today. Fed's funds rates sitting roughly about 2.25 or 5.25 to 5.5%. Again, I've told you guys when the Fed raises rates, it reflects in the auto loan rates and the 30-year mortgage rates, and it also reflects in savings accounts and certificates of deposits. Okay. If you're on the auto loan and mortgage rate side here, you're not making money, you're paying money. So a lot of people that are stuck in these situations have hideous car payments and house payments, okay? These are some of the auto lenders. You can see that the interest rates are just crazy. And until the Fed starts cutting rates, this most likely is not going to come down. Again, when the Fed cuts rates and they start going lower, this will reflect in these metrics, but we still have to wait for them to do that. Here's the 30-year mortgage rate. It says mortgage rates stay at 22-year high as Fed holds off on hike. The average rate of 30-year mortgages rose to 7.42% this week. Back in, I think it was in 2021, the mortgage rates were at 2.5%. So that gives you a rough estimate of just how crazy this is. Yeah, you guys can see even over just a couple of months, this thing has really taken off to the upside. So purchasing real estate right now is not really appealing for most people. Most people that are in real estate probably got in at much lower rates. And they're probably just going to hold. They're not going to sell because, again, if they sell, they have to buy back in at higher interest rates. And people that are going to buy, or that I should say we're going to buy, are not going to want to buy now unless they're crazy, because they're going to be paying obscene amounts of interest. Now, are people actually satisfied with their jobs? Well, as you can see here on YouTube, you got some TikTok quits, or quit talks as they call them. You guys can scroll through this. Just basically type in TikTok quit my job or quit talks on YouTube, or TikTok if you use TikTok. You can see a bunch of different stuff here about how people are quitting their jobs. It was apparently pretty trendy, so it became popular to like quit your job and stuff like that. They called it the Great Resignation, I think. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's type that in and see what pops up. Great Resignation. Resignation. There we go. So, I mean, it's literally right here on the search engine. You can see it. The Great Resignation, also known as the Big Quit and the Great Reshuffle, is an ongoing economic trend in which employees have voluntarily resigned from their jobs en masse as of 2021. But at Google, you can see again the Great literally pops up there right at the start. Great Resignation. You get 436 million results. So you guys can go ahead and look at this info if you want to. The next big thing that we'll be talking about is the most recent trend, which is inflation, which is being basically TikToked and or YouTubed. You guys can see there's like a lot of compilations here talking about inflation. So if you guys wanted to, you could take a look at that. The next thing that we want to talk about, which is basically going to be our close here. This is what our channel is about, okay? FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early, is a movement of people devoted to a program of extreme savings and investment that aims to allow them to retire far earlier than traditional budgets and retirement plans would permit and or are designed to do. The 1992 best-selling book, okay, we can actually read past all this. We know what FIRE is. So key takeaways: financial independence, retire early is a financial movement designed by frugality and extreme savings and investment. By saving up to 70% of their annual income, FIRE proponents aim to retire early and live off small withdrawals from their accumulated funds. And it goes into more information here. If you guys want to, you can look this up yourself. So if I were to type this on YouTube, you can see that a lot of people are talking about it. Really, really a lot of people. You can actually see that some people have done it. So this couple here retired by 40. This guy retired by 29. This guy's obviously retired. You can see that here. 36 years old. So you can see that this isn't just like some sort of pipe dream. Okay. This is the real deal. People are actually doing this in real life. And that's what we're teaching you, what we're showing you on this channel is designed around this idea of being able to have financial independence. And if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, retire early and do what you want. Or instead of retiring early, you could, like what we're going to do, basically just make enough money to not have to work a traditional job anymore, and instead maybe open up a business or trade full time, or become, maybe like a financial advisor, get an actual license to be able to advise people, go work on the New York Stock Exchange, whatever. Okay. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later. Peace.